Yesterday, I was listening to The Great Within. And as I was listening to this, it was just a reminder. Any questions that you have, ask your higher self. So as I was listening to The Great Within, I listened to it a couple of times yesterday, and I actually ordered that book. I had some questions for my higher self. So I lay back on the sofa, closed my eyes, closed off the light, the blinds, and I asked my higher self. I said, "Hey, there are some things that I've experienced in this life that cannot be explained by anyone else. Bear with me. I'm gonna try to hold myself together as I share this." And before the live I did yesterday, and many people were on that live, and I didn't put it on the screen, but I shared it. And I said, the Terminator. Why was the Terminator coming to me? And this morning at 4:00, it came to me. It said, go to YouTube and look up The Terminator. So as I started to watch The Terminator, and I'm sure I hadn't watched The Terminator probably since it came out. And I said, there are some things I cannot explain. Why is it that I heard this voice? This voice would tell me things about people who were trying to hurt me. And there's no way I would have known these things. The first time I heard the voice, and you guys are going to pick up on what I'm trying to tell you. The first time I heard the voice, my last name was Connor. 2023 was a season finale where the voice and my guides actually brought me through a horrific situation. And I put that in my book. I still had some growing to do. And you can't go to people and ask them these questions. They have no idea. But as you start to study, you understand there is no such thing as fiction. Last name was Connor when I first heard the voice. 2019, before I started studying Neville and all of these other books that came to me, I was sitting in a restaurant. I shared this in my first book. Sitting there with another broker. And this person appears to me. And he tells me, hey, I was sent to give you a message. I started crying. He said, no, don't cry. I was only sent to give you this message, but you'll never see me again. 2019, the voice started talking to me more. And whenever I would do what the voice would tell me to do, it would happen, sometimes within hours. About a month ago, not even a month ago, it was actually this month. After I removed this toxic person, ex, from my life, I got a phone call from a complete stranger who overheard a conversation that he was having with someone, and they shared with me that he wanted me dead. I jumped off my live because this person called me, say, hey, it's important. I jumped off my live and I answered her call. She reported it to the police. She said, hey, he has a gun. I said, okay. I got back on the live and I told them, look, there's a person who wants me dead. But I kept getting these messages that were coming from within. Haven't we always been with you? Haven't we always protected you? Look back. We've protected you all this time. All those messages that you were getting was from us. So I was trying to figure out, how did I know these things? There are people there's a person in Canada. There's a person in Louisiana, New Orleans. There's a person in California that messaged me that they had a dream about me. Give me a second. So this morning when I went and I was watching The Terminator, my my first marriage, last name was Connor. This person who wished me dead was born the same year that The Terminator came out. So this morning I was a little shook, but I was only shook because I know that there's a message that I'm supposed to share with you guys. There's no such thing as fiction. These beings, and we might say that they're narcissists, we may say that they're toxic people, whatever you may want to call them, they know who you are. They were sent here to destroy you. But see, this is the thing that you have to understand about the mind. The mind, it is a spiritual war. This war that we're fighting now is not a physical war. It is a spiritual war. These beings will try to get in your head, and they know the law. And the law is whatever you let into your mind, it plants a seed. The seed is what destroys you. You have to get rid of fear. You have to be the gatekeeper of your mind. The Hermetica speaks the mind. He goes, I, the mind, the gatekeeper. I will not permit any evil to come in. Now, those of you who likes the scripture says, I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my Lord than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. That doorkeeper is your mind. Do not let a narcissist, do not let a toxic person plant the seed in your mind. The scripture also tells us that no man, no manifestation can come unto me unless the Father in me draws them. If someone plants a negative seed in your mind and you take care of that seed, it will manifest. This morning, I guess this is my message to you. If you know that you have been contacted to let your light shine, share this knowledge with people. Let them know that their imagination is their real self. Teach them to not allow fear to enter their minds. You guys that were on my live can witness. I got off the live, got back on the live. I also have text messages from this individual. This woman didn't know me. She had to look me up. She heard him say my first name and she looked me up. She said she went through a lot to find me. There are people who are, I'm going to say beings, that are sent here to destroy you. But you have to remember when the other beings are here with you to protect you. They are trying to teach you. They're trying to guide you. Guard your mind. The Great Within is a great book. All of Neville Goddard's books are absolutely amazing. I keep going back to Prayer, the Art of Believing. When you do not have any malice in your heart, even to the person who tried to destroy you, all of their efforts, all of the things they set to destroy you goes back to them. Dr. Joseph Murphy says this: you wish them well. God's peace fills your soul. Every time you think about that person, don't wish harm upon them. God's peace fills your soul.